Now remember, this was cut on a fold. And there is some little marks on here, and I'll hurry up and transfer those. Now if you did this wrong and your mark was off, all it's going to do is make your pocket in a different place. On this, the reason I picked this project is because if you make a mistake, it's not going to be obvious. Which tells you that if you're a beginner sewer, you want to start out with something easy that's not going to be a big deal if you do something wrong on it. You do not want a lot of your patterns, actually this is not one of them, some of your patterns will say easy on them. If you're a new sewer, that's what you want. And then you sew one or two things, and when you feel confident, you get to a more intermediate one. And I never even thought about this being a harder pattern, but I don't think it matters, because if your pocket's in the wrong place, you're going to be the only one that knows it's not exactly in that little, right, you're going to be the only one that knows it's not in the mark, or on the mark. Okay, here's your, this is number 10. I just took the, I tried to get all the markings. So there, I mean, this looks like an apron. Okay, now we're going to pin. Okay, we're going to take this off the machine. When you take it off the machine, you always make sure you have about 6 inches of thread. Otherwise, it disappears up here or down below. Okay, let's see about where this is. So if we grab this side, I don't have much of a sewing spreader outer place. So here's a dot. You don't ever want to use too contrasted of a fabric when you're doing, or a pin when you're doing your dots like I am, because it won't go away. See, these were covering up, and I have a thread here, so we're going to cut that thread off so it's not bugging. Okay, here's your dot. We're going to let it hang out a little bit because we're going to fold this under so that it's just nice and neat. So right here, it's about that far away, and on this side, whoa, okay, I've got to spread it out a little bit. We're going to do the same thing. Now we're going to pin this side. And the reason we're going to do that is because the minute we move this, it's going to try to shift. This is holding this pocket, which I think is held now. So now we're going to turn that under. There's your dot. Just put it right under there. Now this is thick because you've got the seam going this way, and now we're making a seam. So you're just going to go real slow so you don't break your needle, depending on what kind you're. Now this machine does not have a problem. This machine, so the reason it's my favorite also, is it will sew anything. And I usually use a size 14 needle. If I'm doing lingerie or something, I do have to change the needle, but it will sew heavy duty stuff. It will sew almost anything. And it just eats it up. My cameraman is very quiet, so I don't know if he's getting tired of standing or if he's learning how to sew an apron.
Hey, you never know.
I thought about making my granddaughter, or my daughter-in-law's and daughter's aprons for Christmas or one of these holidays, and they could all be matching, except my daughters and granddaughters are so different that I don't know if I could find a pattern that they would all like. Okay, see, I'm turning it under again. Now I've got a fold here, so I gotta be really careful. And so, oh, pressure put down, because so it's holding it. And see, I'm using a zipper foot, so I can, if I line this up, I can go right along that seam. When you have the other kind of foot, it's the same on both, it's about this big on both sides, and you can't quite see as well. Okay, now we've gone down a little bit, and now there's no fold here. Let me see what else it says. Pin pocket matching edge stitch and top stitch sides and lower edge. And then right here, I'm jumping ahead, stitch along stitching line on pocket 8. Continuing stitching over on front edge of pocket 9. Now they've done double on all this. I'm not going to do double. Who in the heck is going to see my apron? Probably just me. And I do a lot of cooking. It's going to get used. It's not for looks. So when I get right here, I'm jumping down to this one, and I'm going to do this edge stitching right now, and then it's going to save me a little bit of thread. Now how I do that is I spread this out, make sure it's very flat. There's my pin holding, remember that first pocket? It's holding that pocket in place. There's my dot. And make sure you're not sewing on that fold. Make sure you've got your seam right there. Now this shows you're going all the way up to the top. This is going to make 2 pockets here and then this sideways pocket. Now because I sew my own stuff and I do use my kitchen, I bake, I cook, I will go back. This makes it more heavy duty. So if you put like, what would I put in the pocket? If I put the timer in my pocket or a hot, what do you call it? An oven mitt, it's not going to tear the pocket. I've double sewed it. So I'm going to fold the seam because I'm going to be down here in a minute. Okay. Uh-oh. This is something clever we did. We added hooks here because these are my pinking shears. And then I have 2 pairs of scissors. And it makes it so I can grab them from multiple machines. They're easy, accessible, because I kept losing them. I tend to leave my sewing scissors over here, and then I'll be over here, and I can't find my scissors. So now I put them on a hook, and I can find them. Okay. Okay, now, oops, what's that? Oh, that scared me. I pinned this, and the corner of this was in it. And if I would have sewed that, guess what? We would have had to do the fun unpicking thing. I'm very good at unpicking. I have learned to pin and double check so that I don't get too good. I want to be an expert at sewing, not at unpicking. So now this is all flat. So now I'm going to make my last fold. Going to go up right there. Leave my needle in. Turn it. Now if you get to a place and your needle's not in, you just have to match it up. It's faster if you can match up your needle. Oh, by the way, this is from Harbor Freight. It has a magnet on the end. Very handy. Your pins will not leave. Actually, it sticks to the sewing machine too. But very handy thing for when you're sewing and you're unpinning patterns. Oops, I almost started sewing without that down. Whoa. Okay, we did that. Let's see if there's anything else we need to do on that. Because I'm not going to do the double stitching. Prepare upper pocket 11 in the same manner as 7. Here's 11. Oh, see that? I need a pin holder. I keep losing my pin too. Okay, this is a big circle on this side. This is a little circle on this side. And, whoops, I want to keep my patterns together. Uh-oh, where's my big circle? Oh, it turned. Okay. Now when I cut this out, I tried to make sure that most of the words were up and down. So when I put my apron on, but see there's sideways words and upside down words. This is not one of the patterns you have to worry too much. But if you are, you would have to, if you cut out your pocket backwards, you could always put your hem on the other side. Okay, lift that up. Okay, and we're going to cut this off right at the edge of that. Wow, look at this. One pocket on the apron. Okay, we're done with this mint. And this is the next one. Okay, I'm gonna put that up there. Okay, now we're gonna do the top stitching on this, just like we did on the other one. Okay, let's make sure we put it in the right place. Okay, there's your marks. There's actually a big mark there, and a little mark, and another mark. Which mark? I don't think it matters. I think it's these two marks. So I just folded it, put it on the dot. Now I'm going to start sewing. This is a small pocket, so it doesn't have to really be pinned. Because I can lay it flat and match up that dot like that. I can almost hold the entire pocket. Okay, here we go. Just make sure you move your fingers out of the way if you're doing a lot of holding with your fingers. Okay, on to the next one. And you know what? We're going to skip down here so we don't have to take it totally off of that.